physical changes. Okay, so physical changes, this is what happens. You have a magnetic piece, you rub it with a magnet, it becomes magnetic. If you heat it or if you hit it with a hammer, it loses its magnetic property. Now, change in state. When a solid is converted to liquid, I have to heat it for that to happen. In order for me to convert a solid to liquid, I have to heat it. What is this called? Solid converting to liquid. What is this process called? Solid converting to liquid, Fawaz. So if I have water and it's changing into ice, then that is freezing. If I have ice and I want it to turn into water, what will it be?
Heating.
Heating, yes. But what is that process called? I have to heat it in order for the ice to become into water. Melting, very good. So the process of a solid turning into liquid is called melting. Okay, so when I heat a solid, it melts into a liquid. Understood? What is condensation and evaporation?
Evaporation means water heats up into vapors.
Yeah, but right now I'm talking about what happens when you heat a solid.
It melts.
Very good.
Ma'am, it turns into gas.
It turns into...
Ma'am, when we heat a liquid, it turns into gas.
It turns into a liquid.
When you heat a liquid, it turns into gas. When you heat a solid, it turns into liquid. Okay? If I cool a liquid,
it will change into a solid object.
Very good. If I cool a liquid, it changes into solid. Very good. What happens if I cool a gas?
Ma'am, it will change into liquid.
Very good. Yes. All right. So whenever you have a change or change in the physical state, for example, solid, liquid, gas, these are all physical states of matter. Okay. So whenever you have a change of physical state, it is a physical change. It is not a chemical change. Okay. So whenever a solid is converting to liquid or a liquid is converting to gas or vice versa, it is always a physical change. Okay. Thus, we can say that the above changes are temporary. We know that solid turning to liquid or liquid turning to solid, this is all a temporary change. We can bring it back to its, whatever form, liquid form, gas form, solid form. They're all temporary changes. No new products are formed and there is no change in weight. That means if I have 100 grams of a solid and if I turn that into a liquid, I still have 100 grams of that liquid. And if I turn that into a gas, I still have 100 grams of weight of that gas. Okay. So basically there is no change in weight irrespective in what state it is. So these are all temporary changes. No new products are formed and there is no change in weight. Okay. Okay. Some more examples of physical change. So on the right side over here, what is this man doing?
Ma'am, he is giving shape to something.
Yes, he is giving shape to something. What is he giving shape to?
Ma'am, I think that is like glass.
Yes, it is glass. So when you heat glass, what happens is it becomes into a semi-solid form where you can easily mold it into whatever shape you want. So what he is doing in this video is that he has taken a glass which is hot and he is molding it into a glass. He's shaping the glass into whatever shape he wants to shape it. Okay, so after he cools down, after this glass cools down, he will not be able to shape it. Only when the glass is a little bit heated, then he is able to shape it. Okay. So that is an example of a physical change. Why? Because no new materials are formed. Okay. And yeah, so and also this glass can be molten again and it can be reshaped into something else. That means it can be, changed into some other form and not just this form.
What is the process of liquid changes into a solid?
Oh, process of liquid changing into a solid. Okay, can somebody answer that?
Ma'am, what was the question? You can repeat.
What is the process of changing liquid to solid?
Freezing.
Freezing. Very good.
But ma'am, every object, like if glass we melt in, it will really become a liquid, right? Then it's also called as freezing only when we make it into a solid
So
object.
you can, yeah. So the thing is, you can call that not as freezing, but I would say it as solidification. It is called freezing or solidification. Now tell me, what happens if I have, one second. So if I have a solid and it changes immediately into gas without becoming liquid. So if I give it heat, so I have a solid, I give it heat and it immediately changes into gas. There is no liquid in between. So what is this process called? Okay, have you ever ordered ice cream to your house through delivery? Yes. Okay. So have you noticed that they put like these dry ice inside the bag so that the ice cream doesn't melt? Have you seen that?
Yes, ma'am. It is dry have the carbon dioxide in it.
Yeah. So what happens in that dry ice? That dry ice does it convert into liquid? Have you ever seen it convert into liquid?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So it directly changes from a solid to a gas. Okay, so for those of you who have not seen dry ice, let me see if I can find images of it. Okay, here, take a look. This is what dry ice is. Okay, so it converts directly from solid. You can see in this picture, it converts directly from solid to gas.
Ma'am, is it harmful for us?
Yeah, you better not eat dry ice. Okay, so what is this process of changing directly from solid to gas?
What is the change from the ice which we have in our house from this dry ice?
What?
What is the change of the ice which we have in our house and this dry ice?
Okay, so the ice that you have in your house is made up of water. Okay, so if you freeze water, you end up getting ice. Dry ice, however, is not made up of water. Okay?
Carbon dioxide.
Yes. Okay, so dry ice is made up of carbon dioxide. It is not made up of water. Is that clear to everybody? So this process that converts directly from solid to gas, we can't call it melting, because melting is what it has to convert from solid to liquid, only then we can call it melting. If something is changing directly from solid to gas, what will we call it? Sublimation. Okay, now if a gas turns into solid, what happens? What is that process called? So if I have a gas and that gas turns into a solid, it is called deposition. Okay? So solid to gas, sublimation, gas to solid, deposition. Clear? Now can you guys tell me what is an example of this?
Ma'am, mentholin ball.
Okay, so an example of this will be, actually we would not know, but if you live in very, very cold climates, you can see that the windscreen suddenly, like if you're driving a car, you'll see that the windscreen suddenly has, snowflakes forming. Okay, so that is an example of vapor directly converting into solid. Okay, all right, so condensation of water, such as formation of clouds, mist, fog, etc. So these are all condensation of water. Now, can you tell me what happens when you heat a metal?
It gets soft.
Yes, it gets soft. Very good.
When
Gas to solid is basically when, for example, if you live in very, very cold climates and if you're driving a car, sometimes you'll notice that the car windscreen or the windscreen of the car, the front glass of the car will suddenly start getting, you start seeing snowflakes on it, formation of snowflakes or ice on it. It's because the water vapor converts directly into ice. Okay.
Oh, but what is it called?
It's called deposition. It's written on the slide. All right. So now, yeah, so we were talking about what happens to metals when you heat them. Yeah, so when you heat metals a lot, they turn into liquid, yes. But what happens if I heat a metal little bit? Not much, but little bit. Not enough to turn them into a liquid, but what happens if I heat them a little bit? Have you guys ever had jam bottles in your fridge that you could not open?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So what happens is when you, yeah, okay, just think about this. If you have a jam bottle at home, or if you have pickle bottles, very good, Neha, and the cap of that pickle bottles, if it is kept in the fridge, you're sometimes not able to open that cap. Okay, so how do you get that cap to open? What will you do? Heat it. Yes, very good. Why are we heating it? Because it melts the frost. No. It is because when you heat that, or if you put it under hot water,
Metal gets soft.
yes, the metal expands. Okay, the metal expands, and then you can easily open the cap. Okay, so that is why when you put, if you ever have a jam bottle at home or a pickle bottle or anything that has a metallic cap, and if you put that, and if you're not able to open that cap, and if you put it under hot water, or if you heat it up a little bit, then you will be easily able to open the cap. Okay, that is because the metal expands upon heating, and the metal expands upon heating. Now, what happens if I cool this metal down? It will contract. What that means is, if let's say I have a bottle over here, okay? I have a bottle here, and this bottle has a metallic cap. Okay. Now this cap, if I heat this cap, it will become a little bigger. It will expand. If I cool this, it will become tighter. Okay. Did everybody understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. So heating metals expands them, cooling metals contracts them. Opposite of expansion is contraction. Okay. Okay, formation of solutions of soluble substances in water. So this is also an example of physical change. For example, salt dissolves in water, right? So formation of solution of soluble substances in water is also an example of physical change. Crystallization of salts from their solution. Okay, that is also a physical change. So basically, when I have salts crystallize from their solution, or when I separate the salts from their solution, that is also a physical change.
Ma'am, crystallization is done by when we take some water and put over sugar in that, and when we keep a thread or anything, it crystallizes.
Excellent. Yes, that is how it is done. Very good. So
Can you explain it to me again? I didn't understand.
Okay. No, opposite of expanding is contraction. Contraction and expansion. It is written on the slide. Point number 2. Expansion, opposite of expansion is contraction. Expansion happens due to heating and contraction happens due to cooling. Okay. Look at point number 2. It tells you the opposite of expansion. Is that clear, Yashika?
Yeah, I was just writing that so that to make sure I can understand it well.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So
I'm just saying that contraction is opposite to expansion, and in other words, this expansion.
yes, but there is no word as disexpansion. Okay. But in order to understand the concept, you can say that. All right. So now let's take a look at formation of solutions of water-soluble substances. Somebody mentioned that, okay, that we've already done. Crystallization of salts from their solution. So yeah, somebody gave an example of putting a thread in sugar water and allowing the sugar to crystallize on the thread. So that is also an example of crystallization.
Crystallization?
What?
What's crystallization?
What is a crystal?
Ma'am, in water we have to put so much sugar, means the water will throw out the over sugar, which is more for the water.
Correct. But what is the meaning of crystal? What is a crystal? Is it a solid? Is it a liquid? Is it gas? What is a crystal?
Solid.
It's a solid.
Crystal. Yes, crystal is a solid. So it is the process by which solid forms. Crystallization is a process by which solids are formed. Okay. For example, this procedure that your friend mentioned over here, you have sugar, water, and you can try this at home actually. If you have some sugar water at home and you put a thread inside that sugar water, sugar crystals start forming onto the thread. Okay?
After the sugar turns into, will be crystallized, then if we don't want it to be crystallized.
Ma'am, in our book, ma'am, there is written we have to put more sugar and dissolve it properly. If we will put more sugar, the water will vomit out the sugar and it will form into crystals.
Correct. Yes, because there is only so much the water can dissolve inside it, right? So anything that is excess will go into the thread that you hang through it. Okay. So if you want that sugar also to be dissolved, you just have to increase the amount of water, and if you heat that water, it will dissolve even faster. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So now this beating of metals into sheets or drawing of metals into wires. So have you guys seen electric boards, or you must have seen electric wires, right? So these electric wires are made up of, usually they are copper wires or silver or gold. They are made out of this. It's most likely the wires that you see around your house will be made out of copper. So these copper wires, if you notice that metals are very easily converted into wires. Okay, that is because of the property of the metals called ductility. Similarly, metals are very easily converted into sheets as well. For example, your cars or aeroplanes, all of these are made out of sheets of metals. Okay, so your car would be made out of a sheet thickness of 4 millimeters. And you would have also seen aluminum foil at home, right? So that aluminum foil is also made out of metals, and it's turned into a thin sheet, and then that is your aluminum foil. So all of these things, basically this property of turning metals into sheets or drawing metals into wires, they all have a name. Okay, so the process by which we turn metals into sheets is called
ductility.
No, malleability. Malleability. And the process of drawing metals into wires is called ductility. Okay?
I didn't understand.
So, say I have a piece of metal, okay? Like I have a piece of iron over here, and I want to change this piece of iron into a sheet of iron. Okay, I want to change it into a plate, an iron plate. What do I have to do to change this piece of iron into a plate of iron?
Heat it up.
What is it?
Heat it up and shape it into a sheet.
Exactly, yes. So if I heat it up and then I hit it with a hammer, or I hit it with something called mallet. Okay, basically it's a hammer. So if I hit it with a hammer and I make a plate out of it, that is basically I'm making a sheet out of it. So that is called as malleability, the process due to which metals are able to change from their solid form or from their from basically you're able to shape metals into thin sheets. It's called malleability. You can't do this with everything. For example, I can't, for a piece of chalk, okay, your piece of chalk, do you think you'll be able to change a piece of chalk into a plate?
No.
No, because even if I heat the chalk, it is not going to, I will not be able to shape it into a plate, okay? So metals have the ability to do that. And this ability for beating the metals into sheets is called malleability, okay? Similarly, metals can also be drawn into thin wires, not just plates, but also wires. And the process by which you can change metals into thin wires is called ductility. Okay? Okay. So yeah, another example of a physical change is shaping glass by heat. Like
Can you tell it again?
Which part?
The process of, the ability to
Yeah. So
metal into wires.
Yeah, metal into wires is called ductility. Drawing metals into wires is called ductility.
Ductility?
Yeah, it's meant, I've written it on the board. Ductility. Ductility.
Can you repeat again?
Ductility.
Yeah, I understood.
Okay. And beating of metals into sheets is called malleability. Malleability.
Yeah, I understood malleability.
Okay. So the other example of physical change is shaping of glass by heat. We saw this in the video on the right hand side. So I'm going to proceed to the next slide.